Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I'd like to say thank you very much for this opportunity so I can gather on this session to deliver our research paper. I am Fanny Herliyana Dewi. I am a postgraduate student from Department of Physics Education, Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia. So, in this occasion, I'd like to deliver our research paper entitled Investigating Students' Mental Model on Fluid Dynamic Concept by FDMT Rush Model Analysis. In this presentation, there are 4 sessions. The first one is Introduction. Our focus research is about mental model. Mental model represent a perceptual reflection of reality and are closely related to one's knowledge framework in describing, explaining, and predict something. This means that students' mental model provide students' understanding and students' difficulty. So, analyzing students' mental model is very important. Students' mental model can analyze by conceptual understanding. As we know that in physics consists of microscopic and macroscopic concept. One of microscopic concept is fluid dynamic. In several physics research, it has been conducted instrument or intervention that used for mental model. But in physics research, still very rare to analyze students' mental model on fluid dynamic concept. So, this became our research purpose to examine students' mental models of fluid dynamic concept using Rush model analysis. Okay, the next part is methodology research. We use ADI and our sample is 20 key 11 students, consists of 9 boys and 11 girls. Our instrument is fluid dynamic multi-tier test, and our analysis instrument use Rush model. Here the explanation of our method. We use ADI, consists of 5 stages. The first one is analyze. We analyze competencies and students' conception on fluid dynamic concept, use literature review. And the next is design. We write down the blueprint item test till we make multiple choices item that adapt from fluid mechanic concept inventory. And then next is developing stage. First, we collecting students' mental model using 2-tier test, and we write down the 3rd tier from the data above. And then finally, we conducted a full dynamic multi-tier test. And after that, we implementation that instrument to collect students' mental model. And the last is evaluation. We evaluate instrument that we use, and also we analyze the students' mental model. Here, the instrument that we use 4-tier test or multi-tier test. It consists of 4 tiers in each item. The first one is the first tier consists of the equation of some phenomena, physics phenomena. It has 5 multiple choices. And the second tier is confidence rating of the first tier, and the third tier is the reasoning of the first tier, and the last is confidence rating of the third tier. Here's the Rush model analysis that we use to evaluate the instrument. The first one, we evaluate the reliability value, and then the validity, also the item fit order. For analyzing item fit order, we use 3 categories. The first one is mean square value with that range and Z standard, and the last one is point measured correlation. And the last is we also analyze the different item function, or is there any bias of our item test. Some item has a diff if it has item probability value below Okay, the next is students' mental model analysis. Here we use this rubric to categorize students' mental model. After we get the categories, we give the score. This score is used to evaluate the instrument quality using Rush model. And then the students' mental model, we will have this presentation value of each concept or each categories using these equations. And then here's our result. First one is item analysis. First is reliability. We have a good item reliability, but we still have a low percent reliability. This means that our instrument is good and reliable, but our sample is not variative enough. It support with this analysis. Right map show that the most students have a middle ability students mental model, and some of them also has a low ability mental model, but there is no one students who has a high ability mental model. Okay, the next validity, we have a good interpretation with the value is 50.4%. And the item fit, here's the conclusions. We have one item that has a not suitable interpretation. This means that especially of this item, we have to repair before we develop more. And then the different item function, we have two items that have bias. So there are three items that we have to repair. Okay, next is analysis of students' mental model. First one is presentation of synthesis B and C. We can see that it has a high presentation at debit concept. This means that although debit is our daily concept, but students still have a partial mental model. Means that students can predict what will happen or the impact of a phenomena, but when it is related to scientific explanation, students can't explain it correctly. This indicates by the highest presentation of synthesis B. The next one is the presentation of synthesis B that's still high, especially on the concept of continuity equation, Bernoulli's principle, and the application of Bernoulli's principle. This means that students still don't understand the relationship between that variable on that concept. Okay, here's the summaries. From this value, we can see that students' mental model is still high, especially in synthesis B, C, and D categories. Okay. Finally, our conclusion of this research is FDMT could be a diagnostic test created by researchers to analyze students' mental model level on dynamic fluid materials. Based on the information that we found from this research come out, there are 6 categories level of students' mental model: synthesis, scientific, synthesis, type A, type B, type C, type D, and initial. And incomplete answer for students who not complete answer the item. With this presentation value for each categories, we can conclude that most students have a synthesis B and C level of each concept. Means that almost students have a partial mental models about some phenomena, also have a difficulty when clarifying a situation or phenomena by combining 2 or more concepts well in experimentally. And the second one is our conclusion about the instrument that we use based on the result shows that we have a great reliability, validity, and item fit order. However, there are some items that consist of some bias and need to develop more. So, it can be concluded that FDMT can be utilized to analyze students' mental models on fluid dynamic concepts. Okay, that's all our research paper. Thank you very much for your attention. And wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.